We're going to start with the Melbourne Demons, who massive win, 91-point win in quite literally the middle of the country, Alice Springs, 146 points to 55 against the team who made the grand final last year. The Demons are now 7-3. They sit third on the ladder behind just the Eagles, who are first, and Richmond, who are second.
Where's Collingwood?
Bringing up the rear. You just want it to sneak attack. You can't see it coming. We're not talking about Collingwood. We're talking about Melbourne. You're supposed to back me up there. That was very trash support. Yeah, that was terrible. Now, Melbourne obviously have had wins against the Lions, North, Essendon, St Kilda, Gold Coast, Carlton, and now the Crows. Their losses have come in that first round where Big Maximus Gawn obviously missed the shot, which would have given them the win against Geelong, but they lost that one. They got crushed by Hawthorn by 67 points, and they lost to the Tigers by 46 points. Since that loss to the Tigers, they have been on fire with the win against the Bombers, the Saints, the Suns. Then they beat Carlton by fairly large margin, Brownie. And then obviously the Crows by 91. They've won their last 18 quarters in a row. But are you buying this Melbourne team simply because we haven't seen it? Yeah, what a surprise.
No.
But can we have some reasons other than hell no?
Because they haven't done it under pressure moments. Look where they were playing, first of all, in the middle of the never-nevers. Okay. Second of all, Adelaide didn't have a full team. Wasn't the team they had in the grand final.
No Tex Sloan, Brodie Smith, Brad Crouch, McGovern.
They're playing in the middle of
Seedsman.
never-nevers. How is that an advantage to Melbourne if they've never played there before?
Well, they have played there before. That's where they do place a home
I'm
game
saying
each year. But
I want to see it in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Because that's when the pressure rises.
Credit to just so we're not knocking Never Alice Springs. It's actually a really awesome. Like to watch footy in the bush like that is really good. But no, it's not in front of it's picturesque. It's not in front of a big crowd.
When it comes to in front of a crowd, that's in finals. That's what you're gonna play in that sort of environment. And I don't want to see it in front of that first before.
To give them credit though, this team was never able to do what they're doing at the moment, which is not just beating teams, but destroying them. Their percentage over the last 5 weeks, I think, is over 200%. They've got the best percentage. They're not just beating them, they're putting their foot on their throats, if I can get the words out, which is something this Melbourne team hasn't done. And a lot of it's got to do with their forward line. And it's not so much of a reliance on Hogan, it's on other guys as well, as good as Hogan's been.
Yeah, well, Hogan's kicked 26 goals this year.
But it's
and
more
then Tom
spread.
McDonald, 15 goals. Jake Malcolm, 14
Brownie's favourite
goals.
player.
And Alex Neil-Bullen at 14 goals as well.
Yep.
He doesn't get any recognition,
No.
Neil-Bullen.
And Tom McDonald as well, his 15 goals have been in just 5 games, so that's incredibly impressive. Hogan's actually third in the Coleman. But they've got 10 individual players averaging at least 1 goal per game so far this season, which is something they never had. Melksham actually leads the league in forward half one-on-one contest wins. So it's better than Franklin, better than Jack Darling, which doesn't really make sense, but that's...
Bit of a surprise, really.
Yeah, you don't really see that coming, but according to the stats, that's what it is. And then their midfield is obviously unquestionable how good it is, the talent they've got.
Brayshaw had a good game, 3 goals and 37 touches. He just proved how important he is to their lineup.
So good for him to finally get a chance, like with all the concussion issues he's had.
Yeah, he's averaging 24.9 disposals this year so far. So it's just showing that finally he's getting that run after all the concussions.
Yep. On top of that, Viney obviously is back. His second game back from the injury, had 35 touches as well. They've got Clayton Oliver, who's just going to be a freak. He's a superstar. We already know that. Nathan Jones, that's the one player I just want Melbourne to do well for because he's stuck fat through all of their miserable seasons and he deserves some success. Then you've got Petrarca, who's still that X factor who can take his game to the next level. What have you made of Petrarca's season in terms of... There was a lot saying he could break out. I think Jed nearly had him for the Brownlow.
Yeah, he did.
So,
and he had McDonald
for the Coleman.
I reckon the game where we'll see the breakout of Petrarca will be against Collingwood.
Queen's birthday.
I think that's
How
the
many
one.
goals is he going to kick against us?
3 goals and 31 disposals.
There we go. You heard it here first. Even Christian Salem, James Harms, Bernie Vince, Jake Melksham, we talked about that midfield is just incredibly talented. They lead the league in contested possession differential, so around the ball, they're huge.
Yeah, it's about, I think it's up
19,
to 19,
yep.
and that's one less than the
all-time best,
all-time best,
yeah.
which is the 2006 West Coast team.
Yep, and then the next best differential is about 7 to 8 marks, so like they're killing it. They're smashing teams in terms of the differential. So last week, the Crows actually set an AFL record for contested possessions against the Bulldogs with 213, and then they smashed them by 46. So
2 different games.
I know, but it's a team that's obviously not struggling when it comes to the contested side of the game, and they handled them quite comfortably. I think the young talent as well, like Bailey Fritsch has been really good. He's kicked 9 goals. Timothy Smith's played 2 games. He's been really good. Spargo as well. And then Max Gawn, like returning to all Australian form, which...
Yeah, he's just dominating in the ruck. And not only that, but his follow-up work at ground level has been really important for the Demons.
Yeah. He's been, like, obviously last year... didn't get the opportunity because of injury, but he's back to his 2016 All-Australian form, and it's good to see for them. And Jake Lever, he's finally finding some form. Obviously, he had that super shaky start, but against the Crows, he was clearly played a really good game, and against his opponents, definitely got the chocolates. But overall, for the last couple of weeks, he's been really good.
He took a few good intercept marks.
Yeah, a few good marks.
Yeah, he just proved to be that final player that, you know, kind of cut any forward momentum that the Crows had.
Yeah, he's that piece that they thought they had that wasn't delivering in the first couple of months
He's
of the
finally
season.
worth the 800 that he's on.
Yes. He's surpassed. Has he surpassed Doherty or Doherty or however you say his name? Duday.
Well, he's always been better
Yeah,
than
you
Duday.
said that you prefer Duday about 4 months into the
Duday's done
into the
well.
season. He has done
You
well.
can't say the reason they lost by whatever they lost
No,
by is because of Duday.
No, I'm just saying in terms of he's living up to his form line, and that back line as well is playing a lot better.
But as Brown said,
who have they done against?
we've got to see them do it against the best
Which
teams.
they're gonna
Because
get
they
a
got
chance.
found out against Richmond and found out against Hawthorn. And the round 1 game,
Yeah.
I don't really look at round 1 form
because it's
look at Carlton.
first round, yeah.
But you can't. It's the first game of the year.
Just a slice shot.
But the Hawthorn
The
game was
Hawthorn
the
one was a debacle. That was a 67-point smashing,
Yeah.
which obviously doesn't look good. And their defensive setup in that game got ripped to shreds. So many goals from the goal square. And they don't really have... They got the Bulldogs this next week, which won't be much of a test. Then the next 2, Collingwood, Queen's Birthday, Port Adelaide. They're 2 really big games. I think the Port Adelaide one is at Adelaide Oval as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. So that'll be a big test. Then they've got St Kilda and Fremantle.